Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. If this is your first time here, I'm Leanne and this is Baby Bell. On this channel we talk about all things mum and baby and toddler related, and today I'm going to talk to you about the pros and cons of extended breastfeeding. So I've said it before, I don't like the term extended breastfeeding. It kind of suggests that you're doing something longer than you're supposed to be doing it, and extended breastfeeding apparently is from like age 1, even though all the health organisations recommend that you breastfeed up to 2 and beyond. So why it's called extended breastfeeding, I don't know, but our society seems to think that you are weird if you're breastfeeding a baby after they're 1, or even in some cases 6 months. I've had a lot of comments about when are you going to stop. Baby Bell's 20 months old. As you can see, she's still going strong. We've got no intention of stopping at the moment, but I wanted to talk to you about the pros of it, because there are a lot of pros. There are also maybe not necessarily cons, but things that aren't so great, and I just want to go into those today. So I'll start with like the sciencey bit. I'm not going to go into that in too much detail because you can read all about that online, but there is quite a lot of scientific benefit to extended breastfeeding for both the toddler and the mum, and then I'll go into like my personal thoughts and feelings on it. So the first pro is improved immunity for the toddler. So if they're ill, your body produces antibodies. Let's put baby away. Your body produces antibodies to help your toddler fight that off, and that's delivered via breast milk. So breastfed toddlers are less sick than others. Oh, what's the matter? And that's due to the antibodies in breast milk and good nutrition, because you know that they're getting what they need from breast milk. Even though they're older and they do need some food, they get a lot of what they need from breast milk. And a child's immune system isn't fully formed until they're between ages 2 to 6, and that's quite a long range, but 2 to 6 they need your antibodies, or giving them your antibodies gives them the best chance of fighting things off. And because it's designed for the human body to consume, it's actually the best thing to give to a toddler or a baby when they're not very well, because the stomach can break it down easier. It doesn't cause any effects. Obviously if there's things that you're eating that they're allergic to, it will do. But we've had it where Baby Bell's not been very well. If she eats solid food, she's sick. The only thing that sort of kept her going, hydrated and full, is having booby snacks, because she can digest that. Second scientific pro, breast milk contains a lot of the nutrition that they need. So it's got hormones, proteins, fats, carbohydrates, vitamins and minerals, and it can make up something like 59% of their nutritional needs in a day, which is amazing really when you think about it, especially when you hear people say that there's no nutritional benefit after a year old, when actually it's like nearly 60% of their nutrition comes from that. Oh, did you just hit yourself with that? You're right. They also control how much they take, so they only take what they need, and this has been linked to like lower rates of diabetes type 2 and obesity as they get older, because they're learning to only eat until they're full, rather than, I don't know about you, but I'll just happily eat until I'm completely stuffed and beyond sometimes. So it does teach them to just eat what they need. I'm going to read this one directly. So breast milk also contains 200 fatty acid chains that are important for brain development. According to WHO, the World Health Organization, researchers found direct links between extended breastfeeding and higher IQ scores, emotional security and better mental health. That's not to say that toddlers that aren't breastfed don't have those, but studies have shown that they can have higher IQ. My last scientific pro for the toddler is that it's a natural painkiller, which is really, really good for teething. If you've got a toddler or you've had a toddler, you will know that teething goes on forever and is a nightmare, but it is a natural painkiller. And then the pros for the breastfeeding mum. So breastfeeding for 12 months or more reduces a mother's risk for breast cancer, ovarian cancer, blood pressure, high blood pressure and diabetes. Oh, Baby Bell, you're in the way there. You're going to come here. It's also associated with easier weight loss after birth and reduced rates of postpartum depression. Now, I'm just going to quickly go off on a tangent here, in that breastfeeding doesn't automatically make you lose weight. If you eat shitloads of biscuits, which I did, I haven't lost any weight. I weigh more now than I did when I was pregnant. So breastfeeding it doesn't automatically cause you to lose weight, but because you are using up to 500 more calories a day, it can help you to lose weight if you're eating a balanced diet. But don't just assume that because you're breastfeeding you're going to lose weight, because it doesn't work like that. There's also the psychological benefits. Breastfeeding and skin to skin releases oxytocin, prolactin and serotonin, which are all feel good hormones. So make you feel happy, make baby feel happy. And if you forgot a child, you'll know there's nothing nicer than just a lovely snuggle with your baby. Okay, now on to the things that I find are a pro to this extended breastfeeding journey. It is the best tool that I've got, and it fixes pretty much everything. If she's tired and aggy, boob perks her up. If she's fallen over and hurt herself, boob. Hungry and not wanting any of the snacks or food that's available, quick booby snack helps her get through to dinner time. Wake up in the night upset from a nightmare, quick boob back to sleep, and all's calmed down within 2 minutes. It is literally the best tool that I've got, and I don't know how I would navigate some of these things without it. Sort of like the middle of the night nightmare thing is probably like the top one there, because if she wakes up and has a nightmare and John tries to settle her, she's not happy at all. If she wakes up in the middle of the night with a nightmare and a boober, she's back to sleep within a couple of minutes, and it's just, it is the best tool I've got. If Baby Belle is ill and off her food, or she's teething and not wanting to eat, I know that she's getting at least a good chunk of the nutrition that she needs. It's really hot at the moment here in the UK. We're in the middle of a heat wave, and she's gone quite off of her food. She's like boobing like a newborn again, but I know that she's, are you all right there? Do you need to do that? I know that she's getting the hydration and a lot of the nutrition that she needs, and I don't have any concerns about that. If she wasn't doing that and she was off her food, then I would start to be a little bit worried. Not so much about the food, but about the fact that she's a lot less interested in drinking water at the moment as well, which is strange, because normally she loves water, but this heat, it's not doing it for her. It forces me to slow down a couple of times a day. So when we're feeding, obviously she's quite big now, we have to sit down. A lot of the times we lie down because she'll feed for a nap, or she'll feed before bedtime, or she'll just feed in mid-afternoon while we're sat there. But because of that, it forces me to slow down and chill out. Now, I'm not saying like if without it I would be on the go constantly, but I can't really do anything while I'm feeding now because she's too big. I can't walk around feeding her, so it really does force me to just slow down and chill out. It's normally only a couple of minutes at a time these days. We don't normally get those big 30-minute feeds anymore, but it is just like, okay, just stop, take a breather, sit down, chill out, snuggle with your baby. And obviously there's all those snuggles. Like Baby Belle is a very, very snuggly baby, and even more so when she's boobing. So that is definitely a pro. Snuggles with your child is always going to be a pro. Then we move on to the cons. Hello. So as I said, they're not necessarily cons, but they're not like the amazing side of it. And I think the biggest one is the fact that your body still isn't yours. So when you start breastfeeding, when they're younger, you've been pregnant for 9 months, you've hosted your baby, and now you're feeding your baby from your body, and there are all those demands on you. I don't struggle with that massively, but there are times where I do feel massively touched out, and where I wish that I could just go and get an entire night's sleep without her needing me and making demands that only I can deal with. This is just a short time. This is, 20 months out of my entire life is nothing, and we're not going to be finishing breastfeeding yet. We've got a while to go, but it is just such a short time. Then the things that you can't do, have you got my notes? The things that you can't do when you're first breastfeeding are still there. So you can't have Botox or fillers or tattoos. You can't have energy drinks. None of those things are like particularly essential, but if you do want to have them, it does limit that. Like, I've wanted to get Botox for a while because I am getting on a little bit. I can't until I finish feeding her. As I said, it's not essential, but if that's something that is like a big part of your life, I think that would be hard to let go of. And I mean, like, it's been 9 months of pregnancy without being able to do that. 20 months of breastfeeding, that is quite a long time, but on the flip side of it, maybe it's just like life's way of saying you don't actually need to have Botox. Another big con is that your toddler can quite easily get your boob out in public when they want to feed. It's summer, so I'm wearing sort of like low cut tops. I'm not wearing like high necked or anything, and it is very, very easy for Baby Belle to just come and yank a boob out if she wants to feed, which is, it's not great. We are teaching like booby manners, bit of etiquette to stop her from doing that, but she's a toddler. When she gets fixated on what she wants, she's going to just try and go for it. So I do have to be a little bit careful with that. There are a couple of times when I have nearly flashed like the entire public. There's also the fact that they are very, very, very easily distracted once they get to this stage. So if we are out feeding in public, there has been times where she's just suddenly jumped off and ran away, and I'm just sat there like, okay, I'll cover up. And again, I have flashed people. It is just a boob though, it's probably not the end of the world. The last con is the inconsistency of how often she feeds. So there'll be some days where she'll have like a feed in the morning, maybe like a really, really, really brief one, and then one before bed and nothing else. And then there are days like yesterday where it's hot, she's tired, she doesn't want to eat food, she just wants snuggles. She like boobed all day, like constantly. So that just means like my boobs have got no idea what's going on. And then some days they're like really, really full and they leak, and I have to start wearing pads again, which 20 months in, I really don't want to do. The pros definitely, in my opinion, the pros definitely outweigh the cons. Hello, Bebby. None of the cons are particularly a deal breaker for me, and it's Baby Belle's main source of comfort. She's not going to be breastfeeding forever. I know that eventually she will wean herself off. Like the average age for self-weaning is like between 2 and 7 worldwide. Now, I can't see this going until she's 7. I don't think I want it to be going until she's 7. But if she doesn't wean off once she hits 2, then I'm not particularly worried about that. We'll just keep going. It's a massive source of comfort for her, and as I said, I know that she's getting the nutrition and everything that she needs. So the pros, they definitely outweigh the cons for this one. As usual, we really hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you did, don't forget to leave us a like and a comment and hit that subscribe button. It makes us really happy. Let YouTube know the video is worth showing to other people. We'll see you next time. Bye!